Let's take a look at the last 17 years, shall we? See, if you're looking at this, you can see a dramatically different line structure. No longer is a nice steady incline higher. Now we have boom and bust, boom and bust, boom. Well, maybe a bust comes next. We don't know. But why? Why did markets perform this way? See, if you can understand this, I think you can understand why markets are at all-time highs and maybe why now is a good time to be playing defense. Okay, let's take a look. See, in the year 2000, we famously had something known as the dot-com boom that then popped. The bubble that had been created during the dot-com explosion began to pop in the year 2000. And equity markets lost 47% in a span of about 18 months. Think about it. Our Fed chairman at the time, a guy named Alan Greenspan, was responsible for the markets having performed so well in the 80s and 90s. He was the Fed chairman under Clinton and under Bush. Alan Greenspan's first day in office actually took place 1 week prior to Black Monday. That's the day in 1987 where the stock market dropped 27% in one day. This is what Alan Greenspan was welcomed to as Fed chairman. It began what became a consistent move for Alan Greenspan because he would manipulate interest rates to help create liquidity and help drive markets higher. See, what he did in 87 was he very quickly lowered interest rates to create some liquidity, and very quickly the market got it back. And markets went on to perform quite well over the next 10 years. Well, in 97, we were faced with another crisis. This is called the Asian contagion, the Russian ruble crisis. Okay? You have currency crises around the world, and our markets started to drop dramatically. And Alan Greenspan came in and dramatically lowered interest rates. It created liquidity in the market, and the market soon came back and started driving higher. In fact, dropping interest rates at that time helped encourage and fuel the dot-com boom. So when you get to the year 2000, 2001, Alan Greenspan took action. He lowered interest rates to 1%. Interest rates hadn't been this low since the Great Depression. In 2007, we had a housing crisis as subprime borrowers who should have never gotten loans to begin with now start defaulting on their loans. Why? Well, they got their loans on teaser rates. By the way, you could walk into a bank in 2005 and 6 and put your name on a piece of paper. If you could put fog on a mirror, they gave you a loan. Oh, and you didn't have to put any money down. These were interest-only loans. So you could literally get a loan by signing your name and then go buy a home. And of course, the mortgage payment that you were promised was on a variable interest rate, which at the time was very low. All is well until interest rates go higher. And when interest rates did, mortgage payments on people who couldn't afford them went up dramatically. And because they had no skin in the game, no money down in the property, it was easier to walk away than make the much higher elevated mortgage payment. The result of which you have massive amount of default happening, and that is the housing crisis in synopsis. Okay? See, easy credit leads to asset bubbles. It's the default on those loans that pops the bubble and leads to crises. But have no fear, because now it's Ben Bernanke, and Ben Bernanke is here. And in 2008 and 9, as the housing crisis went full force, Ben Bernanke, taking a play from Alan Greenspan's book, did something even more aggressive. He lowered interest rates to 0. See, now it doesn't even cost you anything for your money. You can actually get a loan for free, 0% interest rates. And it didn't work. If you were trying to get a loan in 2009, 10, 11, good luck if you needed it. Because the only entities getting loans were those that didn't need it. See, if you were a bank, the banks weren't lending. They just had this massive crisis. So lowering interest rates to 0 did not provide the support for the economy that we needed. And so we invented quantitative easing. It's quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is a simple way of saying money printing. Okay? So we lowered interest rates to 0%, and then we printed $4.5 trillion of money. We tripled the money supply. See, it was these actions that now inflate the new equity bubble that we are now in.